Hey guys, welcome back to World of Warships. Today I have a bit of a different video for you. No gameplay here, just me talking about the best change Wargaming has ever made to World of Warships. They're removing detonations. I can't believe it. I actually cannot believe that they're doing this. Finally, took a long time, but they are removing the detonation mechanic from the game. This is absolutely an incredible change. No matter if you're an experienced player or a brand new player, I think this is across the board an excellent change. This is going to mean there's so much less random chance that you're just going to get kicked from a match. No fault of your own, but you just die. I think that's a terrible game mechanic, and I'm so happy to see it go. With the start of update 13.11, they are going to remove it. So we got a little bit of time to play around where there's still detonations. But most importantly here, that signal that removes detonation chance from your ship will be removed from the game, replaced with a different signal that's going to give you 5% ship HP or 2.5% squadron HP. Now that's a very nice buff, but it's by no means mandatory like the old flag was, in my opinion at least. If you don't want to detonate, you just had to run the flag. That was 96,000 credits every game, almost like a tax to not deal with this terrible game mechanic. This is a buff. This is a very nice buff, but I don't think it's as powerful as some of the other buffs that flags give. For example, healing flag, fire reduction flag. 20% reduced fire duration on your ship is incredible. The mods or commander skills that you can attach to your ship are only 15%. The flag is 20. So 5% ship HP does translate to a decent amount of HP. On the biggest ship in the game, Unicum, you get 6,700 HP or thereabouts. But on any destroyers, it's going to be way less than just taking survivability expert. It's going to give you an advantage, don't get me wrong. It is an advantage, but I don't think it's mandatory. However, if Wargaming really wants to change some stuff that the community would love to see, maybe bring back for achievements, you get some signals. Signals for achievements, bring it back. Make it so you can earn these flags that give you an advantage in game rather than just having to buy them. It's good to have the option to buy them if you run out, but if you play well, receive an achievement, maybe you get rewarded for it. Wargaming clearly is listening. Feedback from you, community contributors, and other volunteers. They seem to be listening. This is awesome. This is great news. I hope this is just the very start of Wargaming cooking, I guess we'll say. I'm so happy, man. I really, really am just so incredibly happy with this. If you had some of those signals, you will be reimbursed with them one-to-one with the new signal, if you had the old det flag signals. And that's good to see, as well as the magazine modification 1 upgrade. You'll just get 100% compensation in credits. So you just get a full refund, which is good to see. And the other flags that did have increasing the risk of your ship's magazine by detonating as a small little tag on them, that's going to be removed from those flags. Really, really nice to see. I'm so glad Wargaming has taken a look at game mechanics, not just game balance, but game mechanics, and making changes for the better. Now, I mentioned that for anybody playing this game, this is a very, very nice improvement. For me personally, as an experienced player with a lot of credits, I've literally just been using a det flag for years. I just put these on my ship and never take them off. So I lose 96,000 credits every game I play, but in exchange, I don't have to worry about randomly being removed from a match where I'm supposedly having fun. I'm so happy to see that. I really, really am. Actually, if we take a look over here at achievements, I've detonated a total of 63 times, at least on this account. But this is my main account that I started way back in 2015. And the last time I detonated was in 2022. It's been a while. Certainly it has been a while, but I just absolutely hated that mechanic. It was so much worse before they introduced the Go Next mechanic, where you're able to relaunch your ship after getting destroyed into a new battle right away. Back in the day, your ship was tied to that match, and if you had died, you had to wait until the match was over till you could play that ship again. Now imagine you're a new player with that old mechanic and detonations. You detonate early, And before, you could also detonate on 100% HP, unlike the 3/4 or 75% threshold you had to get to now. So you could detonate early on in a game. That game goes 20 minutes, and for the whole duration there, from when you detonated until the game ends, you could be without that ship. And if you're a new player, maybe that's the only ship you have. Pretty bad. So good to add the go next, get into battle quickly again if you want to be grinding, and to remove the detonation mechanic altogether. This is great. For me, I love the way this game plays. I love the game mechanics, just the incredible dynamic gameplay you get out of such slow-moving ships and projectiles. Compare this to Call of Duty, it is night and day. They could not be more opposite, and yet they're both fun arcade shooter-esque video games. This one, not really reliant on Twitch reaction time at all. It's all about your decision making, planning ahead and catching the enemy off guard and working as a team. But where does a random detonation that removes you from that match fit into that beautiful gameplay structure? In my opinion, it just takes you out of it. It just straight pulls you out of that really nice gameplay loop. And I'm so glad Wargaming is looking at that and removing it. This is what I'm talking about, guys. There's times where I gotta be hard on Wargaming. I was just making a video. Was that yesterday's video, Navarin? I think so. Where I was just complaining and criticizing Wargaming for bringing back that ship only in loot boxes. We gotta criticize the things we don't like. But we also gotta compliment them and praise the things that we do like. And for me, this is maybe the biggest change ever. I'm trying to think of some other changes that were this impactful. And yes, I'm making a big deal out of this when, let's say, detonations happen 1% of the time, or even half of that, right? 0.5% of the time. 1 in 200 games, let's say. That's still 1 in 200 games, man. How many games have you guys played? That adds up. That adds up. Where am I at on this account? Let it load. Where am I at? I'm over 16,000. That's a lot, even at 0.5% of the time. I don't want to deal with that. That's not fun. I don't play this game to jump in, have control of a ship, and then have that ripped away from me without me making a mistake and not interacting with those game mechanics. I'm so happy. Make sure you comment down below what you feel about this change, what you're thinking. I think it's really important that we give positive feedback when we like a change. I'm sure there's a lot of general negativity that the devs do here, and it's hard to see some of the positive stuff all the time. Certainly, I fall victim to that myself in my own feedback from you guys. 99% of the comments and everything you guys say is super positive, and then there's that one message that can sometimes just get to you, you know? I'm human. That's how it works, right? But you gotta really focus on those positives as well. Most things are positive here from you guys, and I am so glad and grateful that you guys like the videos, like the content. And I imagine that running a game development studio, and certainly one that's multiplayer live service, you might see mostly negative stuff, much more so than I would even see on my videos, since it is more controversial. There's doing more changes, more updates. So I think here we gotta say, good job, Wargaming. Give them a pat on the back, at least in this case. It gets me excited for the future, I gotta say. Wargaming, if you're listening, if I could make a list of things I wish would come to the game, certainly bring back, give me these signals here when I get an achievement. It was so cool when we had that before. Some of them just made so much sense. You get a Dreadnought, which is tanking, what is it, 120% of your ship's HP, something like that. You would get yourself a heal flag, so you could tank even better. It's just a cool reward for an in-game achievement. It was nice. It was really, really cool. And there's a lot of other ones that made sense. Fireproof for the fire flag. It's so cool, man. It was such a great way to reward players for doing well. And sure, it does give you an advantage that you can also pay for. The credit, it's a lot of credits, by the way, for all of these things. It is not cheap to run full 8 signals. But I still do it because it's such a massive bonus. 20% fire extinguishing time, 20% more HP from my heal, 5% faster to my consumables, my ship's 5% faster. these flags are no joke, man. These flags are very, very powerful. So adding 5% ship HP, very powerful, but fits in line, I think, with some of the other signals. And I think some of the complaints that I would have, and I think I've seen some other people mention here in the community, is that the signals are too impactful and you have to pay for them. But if you earn them from achievements, I think a lot of those complaints would go away. Certainly some of them would. It would feel a lot better, in my opinion. Now, when it comes to reworks and the carrier rework and how subs are in this game, I would love to see, Wargaming's listening. They know there's problems with their game. If they're listening, I would love to see my biggest complaint with carriers is just the feeling of helplessness. This doesn't show up on a stat sheet or a spreadsheet or damage or spotting or anything like that. Just purely when a carrier comes over, I feel like I'm put in a straitjacket in a boxing ring, where, yeah, sure, I can move, I can dodge, but there's no way for me to attack back. And if you could fix that out of carriers, I think I would feel a little bit better about them in the game. Certainly, an option might be to give me manual control over my AA mounts, where I could go into an aiming point where there's actual gameplay where I'm fighting back. It feels like I'm in control of the engagement. And that was my complaint always with Detonations as well, just to circle back to that. It didn't feel like it was in my control. I felt out of control in a PvP experience where you're in control of the ship. It's up to you, But that is probably a topic for another time when we start to see more of what they've been cooking up on the carrier rework. For now, though, wonderful change. I'm so happy. What a way to end the week, by the way. Friday, this was announced Thursday, but still, Friday, absolutely incredible. Keep going, Wargaming. This is awesome.